Winter in cattle country can pose numerous challenges for cow-calf producers. Harsh conditions and hungry cattle leave no room for unreliable equipment.
In the early 70s, big round balers were introduced by the Vermeer Corporation out of Pella, Iowa, and they truly revolutionized the hay industry, the cattle industry, especially the cow-calf side of it. Instead of a farm or a ranch baling thousands and thousands of little square bales and manually handling them all, now you could do that all with one big machine. And that was great at the harvest side of it, not so great at the feeding side of it, because all of a sudden you've got these giant hay packages and no way to handle them. And we were trying to keep some cattle fed in multiple locations, and we needed a way to do that with a pickup instead of a tractor. And we were feeding big round bales, at that time Vermeer 706C bales, 6-foot wide bales. And so I had considered purchasing a bolt-in bale handler for a pickup. That wasn't going to work because we could only afford one pickup and there was no way to make that truck also work for trailer towing and things. So that summer of '79 I decided to see if we could incorporate a flatbed and a bale handler all into one thing.
Triple C Inc., located in Sabetha, Kansas, provides cow-calf producers with proven products manufactured to thrive in the tough operating conditions on North American ranches.
Well, Triple C is located in Sabetha, Kansas, and we have roughly 30 employees, some of which use our equipment on their own operation. We go to market with our equipment through about 100 dealerships. Most are located in the United States, and we have a few in Canada. Triple C is known for the Hydrabed. It was the first flatbed bale handler introduced to the market in 1983, and the Hydrabed is known for its ruggedness and dependability. So it will handle and unroll round bales. It's especially helpful for the rancher whose operation is spread out. He no longer has to handle bales and either have a tractor in each location. He can use his everyday truck to feed in multiple pastures. The most popular other piece of equipment that Triple C manufactures is the Hydra feeder. It's a supplement feeder that's both available in a 1,200 and an 1,800 pound capacity. It's typically driven by the hydraulics found on the Hydrabed, but there's also the electric drive option. You know, each feeder comes with a programmable digital in-cab display, so he can meter out how many pounds he's feeding. Another popular option that we offer is the across-the-bed toolbox, which was an innovation of Triple C dating back to 1990. It fits in right behind the headache rack and is a good utilization for space that's not taken up by the round bale that's on the deck of their bed. We also manufacture the Hydra PhD, which is a hydraulic post hole digger. The Hydra PhD has really simplified life for many ranchers, especially the ones who are spread out and have a lot of fence to fix. Instead of having to load up a skid loader on a trailer and take it out to the job site, he can just use his Hydrabed, utilize the hydraulics found on it, attach this post hole digger to his driver's side arm, and dig holes of either a 6-inch diameter, 9-inch diameter, or 12-inch diameter.
Triple C started a revolution in round bale handling and feeding in 1983 with the introduction of the Hydrabed, the first flush-mount self-storing flatbed bale handler.
We spent from 1979 through 1983 just using the thing. In 1983, in the summer of '83, we decided that in response to friends and family, neighbors who said, you know, you really ought to think about commercializing that. Well, we had no clue what that meant. We're just a couple of farm kids trying to make a living. So we headed out one day to talk to some manufacturers to see if maybe they would be interested. Well, unfortunately, 1983 was in the worst of the farm crisis of the '80s, and none of the manufacturers could add any new products. So we came home with our tail between our legs, and about halfway home, Linda said, I said, well, I guess this is done. We'll just keep using it ourselves. And she says, no. She says, we'll do it ourselves. By December of '83, we were ready to sell our first unit. We had no idea if anyone would buy it. Lo and behold, a rancher from northwest Kansas, a big rancher named Otis Dewey, called, and actually after several calls and dialogue, placed an order, and we were flabbergasted. So that's how we got started.
Beef Magazine's 2015 Seed Stock 100 lists Fink Beef Genetics as the nation's 12th largest seed stock producer. Fink Beef Genetics has been utilizing Hydrabeds on their operation since 1987.
We started in 1977 with one cow and I think about $4,000 in the bank, no land or anything. So we had jobs and tried to run a few cows on the side. I left university in 1990 and then we've just expanded since then. We sell about 700 Angus and Charolais bulls now, and probably continue to keep growing that with our daughter Megan when she comes back to the ranch. And Hydrabeds work good year round, but we have really good experience with them in that when it gets really cold. Go out and in different pastures, get the cows fed and get them fed a lot quicker. It's just so much more convenient. It saves a lot of labor on our part and the more cattle fed. And especially in snowstorms and things like that, as long as the truck will get through, I've never ever worried about the Hydrabed not performing its part when we got done. Our operation's a lot different than some. We run a lot of different pastures of donor cows and different age cows and different flushing times, a lot of things like that. We're kind of scattered around some different pastures. So the Hydrabed works really good for us, be able to pick up one bale of hay and drop an amount in different pastures, pick back up and finish up the bale in other pastures. So it allows us the convenience of moving from pasture to pasture and feeding different amounts of hay, and sped up our feeding probably by half. It's been maintenance free, it's heavy made, we like it real well. If it's a really nasty day, actually everything can be run from inside the cab without everybody getting outside if they don't want to. And my help that we have certainly like that, including my wife. So.
Well, from the very beginning when we first bought these Hydrabeds, we were a mom and pop business, so there was just the two of us. And so I have to do chores on days when Galen can't. When he's around, he does chores, but when he's gone, I have to do the chores all by myself. So they've made a big impact in my life because I have a truck I can drive out and feed these cattle carefree and not worry about not getting my task done for the day. The type of cube feeder that we had on there prior to that was basically gravity flow. You just have to, with a cord, let the arm down to feed a pile and then drive, put it back up and drive a few feet and let it back down again. So it was a lot of arm usage on that old feeder, and with the new Hydra feeder, it's just a whole lot faster and a whole lot easier for me to use because I can sit inside and use the remote and push that button and drive along and dump piles every so often and stay inside and where it's warm. We've purchased 7 Hydrabeds from the Miller Ranch Equipment out of Alma, Kansas, which was Carl and Connie Miller that run that business.
Miller Ranch Equipment of Alma, Kansas has been a Hydrabed dealer since the business began in 1985.
I love agricultural people. There's a uniqueness to us. We have a trust going on, and our main clientele goes anywhere from a full-time rancher with quite a few head of cows, and they'll have 2 or 3 Hydrabeds on the ranch, down to a part-time farmer who needs to be able to feed cattle when they get home from work, and they want something that is dependable, that they can use for other purposes besides just feeding cows, and they can use that truck. Maybe they drive that truck to work, but in the evening they can go out and they can feed their cattle, and they can do it from the comfort of their cab instead of having to get the tractor out or pitch hay off. Our clientele is the Flint Hills area of Kansas, and which is some of the best grassland in the world. Kansas winters can be anything from a nice warm sunshiny January day on up to the cold and snow up to here, and they use the Hydrabed to get to the cattle and to feed. But there's so many other uses for the Hydrabed besides feeding cattle. They'll use to move cattle panels to a four-wheeler. They can load a four-wheeler with chains with the spinners and put it on the bed, and then they can go out and check pastures 15 miles away. We chose Hydrabed over any other bale bed company because we like the design of it, and we like the construction too, and the ease of operation. Cable-controlled hydraulics where you can ease a bale down on the ground or raise something up and just feather down the hydraulics was key to us. We thought that was the best way, and having synchronized arms, everything was always centered in the middle of the bed, and so that was something we did not see in the other bale bed companies.
When we started, the bale bed business was just pretty much two different players, and we just liked the action of the Hydrabed better. Galen Ackerman is just really sharp on all the aspects of it, and just really liked the way he was developing the bed.
Key elements in Galen Ackerman's initial design, which are still in use today, were flush mount bale handling arms that provide a true flatbed, a pivoting arm design that allowed for maximum grip range and arm to bale clearance for unobstructed unrolling, and mechanical free float unrolling to isolate truck and operator from jarring caused by out of round bales in rough terrain.
It's a pretty wide range of customers. Well, in fact, we've mounted a bed on anything from a 1964 Chevy clear on up to some $50,000 trucks. So our customers cover that wide a range also. And most of them are just trying to get more convenience, get more work done. We're glad that we can sell something that serves them well.
The 30 Series Hydrabed, introduced in 2013 for the company's 30th anniversary, stays true to the Hydrabed's legacy of providing practical solutions to real ranch problems.
The 30 Series Hydrabed, when we came out with it, was a huge step for us to make a step in the direction of being considerate of the appearance of the truck. The beds were solid, durable, long-lasting, but they didn't have many stylish features. Everything was built for strictly utility. And they were going on trucks that cost anywhere from $1,500 to $3,000. In modern day, if you go and buy a new truck, normally your common farm and ranch truck that comes through our dealer network anyway that we see is between $40,000 and $60,000. And we thought if someone is wanting to spend $40,000 to $60,000 on a truck, that they would prefer to have a bed that looked as nice as the truck did, or as close as we could come to it. One of the first things that we wanted to do was add LED lights for safety, visibility. So when we added the LED lights, we decided to move them up to the headache rack as well, to have stop and tail lights and turn lights in the headache rack. And it seemed like a good opportunity at the stoplight to put a name badge with our name on it with a stainless steel, just for a little flash on the back of the bed. One thing we did not want to do when we made the changes was compromise anything that we knew to be proven to work very well. These changes, these things that we've added to the truck, are purely aesthetic for the most part, but everything that we've done was with the customer in mind, and we wanted this thing to last well beyond their years if they wished. I think just about every bed that we've ever built, unless it was wrecked, is still operating. So what we want to provide is a good value to the customer with the best product that we can build.
When it was first designed, it was used for 3,000-pound bales at that time. Bale weights right now are significantly lower than that, so we've not taken any of the structural details that make it what it is. So some people say overbuilt piece of equipment, but we know it's going to last.
The record sales that we've experienced in the last 3 to 4 years has just been continually growing, partly due to market conditions and partly due to us doing a good job and building a good product. These beds are made in the USA by local individuals, and at the end of the day, each one of them wants to see a customer happy. Each one of these guys knows what it's like to get a good value for your dollar and do a great job to help make that happen.
The Hydrabed legacy would be that it was, that is a very rugged, dependable piece of equipment with a company standing behind it all the time.
Cattlemen and women all across North America have come to appreciate the durability, ease of operation, and the dependability of all Triple C products.
A very unique thing I feel about this company is the closeness we have with our customers and the support that we have for everyone involved, that the customer is going to come first and we're not going to cut corners, and if an unfortunate issue were to arise, we're going to do everything that we can to take care of them as quickly and as painlessly as we can, because we know what this piece of equipment means to their operation, and they really can't afford to be down. This company is committed to continue to look for things to make the rancher's life easier. We're not going to go to market with something just to go to market with something new. We want to have something that's going to be worthwhile and make a difference and solve someone's problem.
For more information, visit www.triple-c-inc.com.